The identity of the United Healthcare assassin has been unveiled. His name is Luigi Mangione. You've probably heard of him by now. And as expected, Hollywood has its own range of takes on this guy. Some love him and some hate him. Bill Burr says that he loves the alleged assassin, and he loves the fact that insurance CEOs are fearing for their lives.
Did he say he loves the assassin, or did he just say that he loves the fact that they're in fear for their life?
Here was his actual quote. Yeah. You know what's annoying me about this kid who killed the CEO? None of these news programs are talking about the incredible lack of empathy from the general public about this because of how these insurance companies treat people when they are at their most vulnerable. After we've all given them our money every effing month, and now we finally need you, and all you do is deny us. And then these beeps and all these things are taking the pictures of their CEOs off their websites. I gotta be honest with you, I love that effing CEOs are effing afraid right now. You should be. By and large, you're all a bunch of selfish, greedy effing pieces of shit. And a lot of you are mass murderers. You just don't pull the trigger. That's why it looks clean. That's why these people look. He was just, walking into a hotel. Okay, well, what was his job? What did he do? What was the result of it? So he was essentially praising the shooter.
This is disgusting.
Like, just publicly praising a murderer.
Dude, I don't even know where to begin. Is it like the fact that he's just a complete idiot? Is it the fact that he's being disgusting and basically giving a green light to terrorism?
If this were in a stand-up special from Bill Burr, I would excuse it. It's a stand-up special. You're trying to make people
there's
laugh.
No joke here.
But this was a podcast appearance that he was doing.
Joke
he was saying all of this totally in earnest.
I know.
And expecting no backlash.
Because when you first brought up the headline, I was like, okay, maybe there's a joke here. Maybe he finds a dark, twisted...
I thought Bill Burr was supposed to be a comedian after
Dude,
all. But none of that was a joke.
Bill Burr, the mob, they will turn on you too. You are a very wealthy individual, and just because you're not in healthcare does not mean you're safe from these friggin' lunatics. Like, these people are nuts. You cannot justify taking another man's life. Like, that's insane. It's just insane. And
it's ironic as they've found out that the shooter grew up incredibly wealthy as well. So I don't know, are all rich people evil, or are you willing to make an exception for this? Michael Rappaport, on the other hand, has the opposite takes. He said that MFers celebrating this sick F murder suspect. He said, toxic masculinity is back, baby. I don't think it ever left. It was selective. Free Luigi, you MFers have been complaining and whining about toxic masculinity unless it's a cold-blooded killer with a nice jawline. This is who you idolize.
Dude.
This is who you want to be free. A sick, white, privileged, valedictorian, cold-blooded killing F.
Rappaport hit it out of the park on this one.
I mean, I don't think it needed the white
That didn't really need
part,
to add the white
really
privilege
funny.
take in
It's
there.
Rappaport. I mean, you knew it was coming. But... I mean, dude, if Michael Rappaport is the sense of reason, you know the world is upside down.
There was, it makes me think, I don't know why this comes to mind, but there was 2 episodes of the show Elementary that really, there's an episode where they're investigating this dude who sells weapons, right? Like he sells weapons to foreign governments and stuff like that. And the point that he makes after they get done talking to this dude is that what he does is distasteful, but it's not illegal. Right. And then in another episode, there's a point where a character is like, well, why do we really care who killed this guy? He was a bad guy. And he actually makes the point of saying that falls into a form of moral relativism that society can't continue on with. And that was in like 2014 or 2015. I don't know if Hollywood would write that storyline now. I don't know if they would. I think that they love the idea of moral relativism because they don't actually believe in any form of honest goodness. That's why so many of the villains today are rewritten as sort of morally ambiguous. They have a tragic backstory, therefore their actions are okay. So it's seeped into the writing in Hollywood, and a lot of those people have kind of swallowed up their own bullshit and are spewing it back out now without realizing that they've fallen so far from the general public sentiment of these things.
Well, there's this bleeding heart lib attitude toward criminals in general that has been prevalent for many years now. And I think that's actually why Kim Kardashian started studying to become a lawyer. She's still not done. She's like 8 years into becoming a lawyer at this point, which is a long time. But now a lot of people are encouraging Kim Kardashian to save Luigi from prison time and get him a pardon, because Kim Kardashian's track record thus far has been finding criminals and basically getting them
they live
pardons for their
in
crimes.
A fantasy world, these people. It's I just can't, like, they every day they somehow amaze me. I think it can't get worse, and it gets
They're
worse.
not just asking her to legally represent him, they're also asking her to give him brand deals for her loungewear brand.
They want this to be a Hollywood movie. They think this is American Psycho.
The same ones. I'm assuming that most of these. I see pushback in the chat. Some people talking about
people, they don't know what they're talking
simping
about.
for greedy corporations. Fine, whatever. But if you're supposed to apply the same logic to what these people tend to love, which is the government, then would you apply that same logic to, say, someone like every president that's ever existed, who have sent your kids off to die in wars they never needed to go on? By that body count, they've killed millions of people too, not just people in foreign countries, but your own American citizens. Obama, all of not. I mean, I didn't give a party example because my point is that it's supposed to be nonpartisan.
No, just
every
recent
politician
memory,
does it, but their answer to this is to make it single payer government health care.
We don't need to get into a healthcare policy debate on this episode.
No,
or
but
any episode.
It's not that. It's if what I think he's saying. It's not about the actual policy or the healthcare at all. It's that powerful person does something I don't like. Why is it okay here but not there? Like, it's hypocrisy is what this is.
It's the same reason I get mad whenever they get mad at the government for not paying back their student loans. I'm like, why are they never mad at the schools who charge them the exorbitant amount of money?
Or the hospitals that bill these insurance companies. But I won't get into that debate. What this just shows is that, like, the rule of law does not exist for half of this country. They live in a fantasy world. They think it's Hollywood. Like, it's disgusting.
People are already fan casting a true crime TV show about Luigi Mangione. They're hoping that Ryan Murphy is going to make the next iteration of his Monster series on Netflix about Luigi. And they've already fan cast Dave Franco to play him. I see the resemblance, definitely. I see the resemblance, but I honestly don't think that this is out of the question. I would not be surprised if they announced that the next season of that show is going to be about this guy. I've seen endless thirsting for him on the timeline, like extremely hybristophiliac comments about this guy already.
And it's there's a real problem here. I mean, we always know, like, there's, especially with the serial killers in the 80s, that there'd be women who simp over these dudes, right? With the love letters sent to prisons and stuff. But when you have social media now, it's unlocked something in people where you've seen this just amplified.
They're romanticizing him already.
It's nuts. And I think there's a lot of people that don't realize what they're doing is super dangerous, because now there's posters in New York City of faces of other CEOs. Like, this is happening, like, this is escalating very quickly, and these people think it's a friggin' game. And it's not. These are real people's lives that you're messing with.
Over the last week, social media has gone wild with tweets about the suspect, and people have been commenting on his uncanny resemblance to Dave Franco. They're incredibly invested in the case for all the wrong reasons and are now calling on Ryan Murphy to create a TV series starring Dave Franco about Luigi. So he's going to basically give him a facelift in pop culture.
Yeah.
Make him look like a sympathetic character to all of these people.
If this does get greenlit as a project, would you be upset with an actor who accepts the role?
No, I wouldn't be upset with the actor. I think people were more upset about the Menendez season that Ryan Murphy created, because he totally rewrote history and didn't even consult with the Menendez brothers about what happened, and was proud of misrepresenting them.
That was the most shocking.
Not only that, but also he created an entirely fictional story about how they had some kind of incestuous relationship with each other. because he has to make his shows pornographic.
Yeah.
I guess that was his priority more than telling the truth of the story. And people had similar complaints when he made the first season about Jeffrey Dahmer. So we can get mad at Ryan Murphy for romanticizing Jeffrey Dahmer, but if he creates a show about the United Healthcare CEO assassin, that's okay?
Yeah.
Like, why?
The whole thing is
They're both murderers.
Yeah. And look, this stuff has become more prevalent in recent years. Obviously, stories around serial killers are nothing new in any respect, but it's become even more common now given the popularity of true crime and all of this. The morality of all of it is, look, everyone in the chat I see arguing about it, and it's fair. If you want to go back and forth about the evils of corporations and the evils of the individual who did it, that's fine. Go back and forth about this. But it just felt to me shocking that Bill Burr went that far. It is. Maybe I'm wrong. Wrong.
They also pointed out that Luigi Mangione is cousins with a sitting Maryland state delegate who represents District 42A. And then the QAnons started, and they said, what is 42A backwards? It's A24. A24 is going to make a movie about Luigi Mangione.
Wouldn't be surprised.
My takeaway from
either.
that was, like, it just shows when you have a comfortable life, you don't know real struggle, so the tiniest things will set you off. Case in point.
I don't know much about it, but it sounds like the guy just lost his mind because he was taking shrooms and other psychedelics for his pain management, and then
I mean, you combine that with the fact
he went
that
missing and lost his mind.
in this age, people overreact about the smallest things and act irrationally. Like, it's just not a good. It's not a good recipe.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.